Thank you for watching the Alchemy Workshop. I decided to do another knife spine filing pattern video. This is another one I'm working on at the moment. Sort of like a sharp finger design. Very useful design, in my opinion, for things I would do. And we're going to go with an experiment on a knife filing pattern. What I'm thinking is I'm going to do it in sections along the spine. I'll probably start where the end of the scales end here. I like to consider, like, if I'm holding it like this, that's one thing, but this kind of knife I'll also hold with my thumb on the spine. So about where my thumb is going to end, that's where the beginning, going towards the back, would be of the file pattern, because I like that for added grip. It makes more of a non-slip texture. So I'm going to do like sections. I'm going to draw it out. We'll come back where it's going to be the file pattern. It'll be plain, file pattern, plain, file pattern. And I'm going to use two different file patterns. Basically, I'm going to use two different size round files. Whether I go all the way around, I think I will. When I don't do that, I kind of wish I did. It's saving a few minutes of time. It's not a big deal to do the whole thing. So I'm going to draw out the design, the lines basically, and then we'll come back and work on it a bit. I'm not going to videotape the whole thing. It's a pain in the butt to get the angle right I'm using my cell phone and really crappy holder for it, so getting the angles is a pain in the butt, but I will show you the progress and how I do it. Alright, so I penned out the spine with the Sharpie. The blacked out parts are not going to get filed. This section is going to be with the 3mm small round file. This one's going to be with the chainsaw file, which is roughly a little under 4.5mm. And this is going to be back to the small one at 3mm. Don't know how it'll work. The black parts are going to be untouched. Let's give it a try. And to space that out, I just measured the overall length. I wanted this part to end about where my thumb would go on the spine of the knife, and I just kind of spaced it out with a ruler roughly. Didn't feel like doing the math and eyeballed it. So I'm going to get filing. Same technique I did in my last video. What I'm going to do is cut diagonally about 45 degrees upwards and across with the kind of like a triangular file, a needle file, to just cut in the grooves, and then opposite direction on the other side. Same angles. We're going to do that. I'll get this first side started and come back to it. I'm not going to do it on camera. It's boring to watch. But a couple tips is start your first cut precisely. Use your finger to guide it. Cut slow on your first cut. And when you get that cut going, then you can dig into it. Count how many times you cut. This is just to make the groove with the triangular file. That's going to make it easier to guide in with the round file. And when we get to the round file, that's where I really want to count how many cuts I give. This is 3mm thick 15N20 steel. It's been annealed. Makes it much easier. Doesn't give you, it's pretty thin, but great thickness for a blade, for this kind of blade. But yeah, it doesn't, a thicker spine gives you a lot more canvas to work on for designs. So I'm going to just experiment with this. I've never tried this before in this manner. Let's see how it works. Okay, so I've been working on this one for a while, playing around. The whole broken up pattern. See, there's the small file part. I actually went in with the big file, small file, segments untouched. So I went around the back, and from there I started to just eyeball it. I didn't mark it and measure it. I even tried something new, made it tighter here, and then grew it out for the distance of the file. Untouched part here, and then all the way up to the finger groove. Also, that was freehand, not marking it out. Kind of randomizes the pattern, and go back and forth and play with it, which I like. Makes it very interesting. I see one little part. It's okay. I mean, here I might do something. This little last one, it doesn't match the others so well. But yeah, I did it really tight on this side and bigger on this side. It's going to look different once you put the scales on, that's for sure. You won't see the side marks. You're just going to see the top impression, and then you're going to sand it down a bit. So this part, to me, is, I already know is going to turn out boring with the bigger file. So I'm going to take a Dremel tool and with a cutting disc and cut across these parts. I think around here. I got to just try it out and see. I might try a few things. But I'm just trying to show you, like, you can do it very measured and worked out, or you can just play around with it and get new ideas, which is super cool for me. I love doing that. But I'm pretty happy with it. Just a few little things to touch up, and I have to do a little bit more grinding on this one. I always leave the tips a bit more thick, but that's a little too thick. It's just going to wear away my belts after I heat treat. So I am going to profile this a little bit more on the sander, the belt grinder. I love the way the random patterns come out this way. So like I said, I'm going to just do something about this where I use the chainsaw file here. I want to make this a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to pull out the Dremel with a cutting disc. Alright, so I took the Dremel to this. Didn't go as planned, but I think it turned out cool. Once I saw it wasn't going as planned, I just went with it. And that's kind of how I work. I like it, you know, this pattern, this pattern, this pattern, all the others. But yeah, I just used a simple cutting disc for eye protection when you use these. And be careful. The cheap ones will split apart and fly around. It's going to be hard to tell how it turns out until I put the handles on, the scales. I'm looking around at it. I'm going to have a smoke and take a break and look at it more. There might be something, little details I want to add in. But doing it freehand is really fun because you can go crazy with the ideas and you can figure out new techniques. Whether it's just like a standard pattern like on the previous one, or it's a bit more uniform, or yeah, just having fun with it and being creative. So I'm gonna take a break, step away from it, and come back and look at it again, analyze, and see if there's anything I want to change. But I'm pretty happy with these. So to wrap up this video, I've got the handle on. I used a Paduk wood scales, and here is the file design. I used a gray epoxy, pretty dark gray, it almost looks black. This camera and this light is not the best, so I will take some photos outside to put up so you can see it a little bit better. Overall, I like the result. And again, for that thumb grip, that is very, very comfortable. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll put a link below to the previous video I did. It's a little longer. I go a bit more detail into doing the file work on a more standard pattern, not so randomized and experimental as this. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. Finishing up a neck knife now that I'm putting copper scales on. I'm doing a video of that as well, so hopefully that'll be finished and uploaded soon. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.